Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What is going on, folks and friends, team and family, fans and followers from around the world? Hope you are doing quite majestic. How's life your way? Hope the world's going incredible. Hope you're doing amazing. Type in a 1 if you can hear me and see my screen okay. Just want to make sure. Had a little bit of a weird time logging in. So I just want to make sure. All right, perfect. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. Cool deal. So definitely an interesting day. I did not do any day trades today, obviously, just because the last 2 days were pretty wild. I figured I would lock in some gains, go enjoy some time off, somewhat kind of sort of. I mean, it wasn't like fully off, but definitely a fun day. A lot of stuff going on for sure. So obviously got filled on some SPY positions. Did get filled on a put sale for 300 October as well. Didn't think that was going to happen, but there was a lot of volatility today. A lot of volatility. And honestly, folks, I'm not saying that this is going to be it. I don't think it will fully. Like, I don't think this is the absolute low, but it could be. Like, this is all we really needed. I know that sounds insane, but you know, I don't think the market is broken. I don't think we're hyperbolic. I don't think we necessarily need to just go to zero. It's really very, very similar to over here. Almost the exact same thing. I mean, type in a 4 if you know that I went to cash twice this year. 2 times. So the last time that I sold almost everything other than my long terms. I didn't sell the long terms, but everything other than long terms was June 5th. So June 5th was the last time that I sold everything other than long-term stuff. Because long-term stuff, I mean, wasn't really that profitable. It was up okay, but it wasn't like anything crazy. So that was the last time. And that was June 5th. And then, you know, we had 2-3 days of a pullback, retrace, and then kind of roll over. Jay says, was it also a full moon? Let's go see. Let's go see. Weird. Strange stuff. All right. So anyway, the coolness of that is that move that we got over here, you know, I was about a 7.5% pullback. So this one, you know, 6% and some change, 7.5. So realistically, I'm thinking that we'll probably get a very similar pattern to some degree. I mean, if you think about it, you had one big day of selling followed by a little bit of a bear candle with lower shadow. So, you know, Monday or Tuesday, technically the market's closed on Monday. We might gap down a little bit and then fade higher and then rotate around some and then kind of chop around. As I said during the whole COVID situation, and I know no one wants to hear this, but here we go. If we close below the low of today, and then between now and October, I'd say September 18th. You think that sell-off was fun? Just wait till what's going to happen next. If SPY closes below today's candle, I'll just say in the next 2 weeks. In the next 2 weeks, this sell-off was nothing. So just an FYI, if you thought this was fierce, you have seen absolutely nothing about what the market can do when it really wants to start selling. You guys all know I love hard drops in the market. I love it. Angela cleaned up today because she bought some dips, right? And this was a phenomenal pullback. Look at how perfect this was. It's almost like what we've been talking about. Remember when we trade up into here and we retested? What's this blue line? Can anyone remind me? The blue line is the old previous resistance. That's right. Old previous all-time high. So at this instance, I mean, this is the short-term retest. So we could do one of these guys. and we have a longer term retest. Like that's very possible, extremely possible, in fact, very likely. And in this realm, I'll be looking for, you know, some leaps, some debit spreads, as I talked about the other day, buying some dips, legging in some positions. But as of today, I'll cover everything I pretty much got triggered into. I did a lot of put sales today, so I don't think I'll get filled on those put sales. Most of them were on Tesla, so I don't think I'm gonna get filled on all the put sales. But got some shares of shares and leaps of all kinds of things. Very similar things I talked about yesterday. So we'll kind of go through them. But SPY, fun for the whole family. Also picked up a few shares at 339 even, just because that was the previous old resistance, new support. So I picked up some small size there. And yeah, here we go. So let's find out what happens. That's it. Qs, nice hammer on the Qs. Again, a little of a fast selling. I think we need a little bit more than what we got. Again, we could easily get something like this, where we just kind of rotate, you know, bounce around, chop, do something like that, and then go higher. I'm fine with that. I don't necessarily think that we just rip from here. If we do, I will play it bullish, but it will not be for long. So if we do one of these guys and then bang, and then we're back at NASDAQ Qs 300, then I know we have a real problem in the market. That'll be just off the hinges. We should not go up that fast. And the reason why is because we're too high. Okay, just letting you all know from experience, like markets don't and shouldn't do this like that speedy. We haven't even hit the 50. So don't think that, you know, we start bouncing and we're like, oh, yep, everything's good. We can make some money short term, no problem with that, but that will be disconnected from all kinds of reality. And then I'll know for sure that we're in something a little bit serious and there's gonna be a lot bigger of a crash in the future. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, just some quick in and out positions. Mike says probably not a good idea to swing calls too long, short term, like 2 to 3 months. Yeah, 2 to 3 months. Or if you do have leaps, you know, and you have leaps and you bounce and you're up on them nicely and we make a new high, just sell them. I bought tons of leaps today, you know, so I know for sure that if this is the exact low and we just bounce and we go back up to a new high, I'm gonna sell them again. Because again, we should not go up that quickly. We absolutely should do one of these, hang around, bounce around, and then go higher late November, you know, mid-November, late October, something like that. So we'll see, folks. That's, again, just my thoughts. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen. The Dow is actually still very normal. It was really just the Qs and the S&P that were too high. So the Dow is okay. It's not disconnected from reality. And then the IWM is perfectly fine. So the IWM is just chilling. So again, we'll see. Overall, expecting some just chop around and some slow grind. But if you do get some really strong bulls next week, I will make money. We'll have good trades. We'll carve out some gains. But I'm not going to necessarily think, okay, cool, looks like we're in for another 5-6 months of just healthy bullishness. It'll be a little more cautious than that, I think, at least for me, because we really shouldn't bounce that fast out of this kind of move. So a really quick update. I am going to cancel these trades. So plug, I'm going to go ahead and cancel plug. I had the option trade set up on it. And I mean, how close can you get, you know? So we got pretty close on those, like open, even if you're trading the shares, we got really close. Thomas actually looked to play this one for a day trade and he got skipped by a penny somehow. Unfortunately. So yeah, Thomas he was rightfully crying. So I mean, he set the trade up, like perfect trade, and somehow got skipped to a penny. But anyway, nice trade on the options. I will go ahead and cancel those because we could probably get them for a better price at this point. Log into this account. Verify it's me. Password. Robert Falco is incredible. I change my password every day. All right. Perfect. So I'm going to cancel plug, and I'm also going to cancel AVIV. Cancel. And we did get stopped out 2 trades today. I was really surprised on Snapchat. Snapchat was kind of mind-boggling that happened. Okay. Perfect. So cancel that one. Got it. And then the other one that I want to cancel was VIAV. VIAV. So that was the other bearish position and just didn't retest. I mean, again, you know, when the bears hang out to play, we can easily get some cool movement. But what I think about this one on VIAV, I mean, this is a really, really nice support. Very pretty support on this particular stock. And I like the support level. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of draw support resistance there. See if it breaks through it. You know, maybe later in the week, next week, we might swing trade a bearish or something, but I'm gonna throw it over here, put it on the list, and jot it down for Wednesday, VIAV. Cool deal, got it, awesome. Here's VIPS, VIPS, and VIPS. This is one I was considering to go bearish on based on this candle, and that would have worked for a day, 1 day. So I think we actually can set this up long now. It was based on this candle right here. So when that hammer candle came in, then we closed below, and I was like, all right, maybe we'll short it. We would have gotten triggered in, and we would have had 1 day to get out, and it would have had to been an exactly 1 hour trade, which is kind of wild how quick that worked. But if we go to a weekly chart, I mean, this stock has pulled back pretty nicely. So I like this. This is an okay retracement. I mean, it was at 24. You know, we pulled down 36%. That's a good retracement. You got this previous resistance here. So it looks relatively normal. I think VIP shops, we can set up, especially since you got a hammer here. And we can do one of those guys right there. 1709 by 1509 might be a little bit of a wide stop for a $17 stock. If you want to do it more aggressively, you certainly can, but we'll probably, best case, maybe get an R out of that. 17, yeah, I don't think it'll be anything, you know, incredible. All right, 9/4/2020, VIPS, and new official swing trade on VIPS. Okay. Pop that over here. 1709 by 1509. And again, feel free to cancel. Retest gap open. The other bear trades. Okay, retest. All right, so again, VIAV, we can cancel that one. Cancel order. Okay. Cool deal. Sounds good. All right, next on the list is CSCO. CSCO, Cisco Systems. Would the bear gap down? Nice bearish gap and go yesterday, right? If we're talking about the day trading classes, one of the things I mentioned last night was if you really want a good, solid bear gap, ask yourself the question, would I have bought yesterday? Right? And in this example, I think some people, not necessarily us, but we can see people would have most likely bought from this hammer and maybe even bought yesterday without waiting for the close above all that resistance they bought here. So that gap down, obviously trapping some serious people in Cisco Systems. I think we all could agree that both Cisco and Intel will eventually fill the gap. The thing is with Cisco versus Intel, this is a really, really strong bear gap and go. And it's not nearly as far as Intel was. So Intel was / is extremely far down. And really, really far down. And so we'll see. But Cisco, it might take a little bit longer to fill that gap. Weekly chart looks a little bit tough. And monthly chart looks a little head and shoulderish. But if I were playing Cisco, I would just try to rebuy it almost the exact same price that it bounced off of in March. So 33.85. I don't think we'd get down there. If you really want to play Cisco, you're probably just like tiptoeing in, adding some shares. Don't see anything that I absolutely love. Big picture, but that one could be okay. I guess we'll kind of see what happens overall. All right, so that's Cisco. Next on the list is Zendesk. Good old Zendesk. And Zendesk, nice limit. Nice lower shadow, nice fill of that retest gap. So it's good to see the market really kind of working and playing around and doing its thing. I like the pullback. I like the move. Right, here's the weekly chart. So this one made a new all-time high. And again, old resistance, new support is around this 92-ish area. So if you did get a chance, the low of today was 94. I don't have any position on Zendesk, but could it go lower? Absolutely. Will it go lower? You know, I'm not sure. With that upper shadow, probably. Again, I think the market needs to just have one more rotation lower. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, but something like this would be so healthy. If we get that, you couldn't imagine a more bullish person going into 2021. If we get something really, really clean, I'll make so much money. You all make so much money. We're going to absolutely crush it. I'll be very, very bullish if we get some natural rotations like that in the market. If we just get this, we'll still make money short term, but I'm going to be, I'll be a little bit more afraid. All right, OSH. So OSH, Oak Street Health, did fill that gap. Not surprising, it was a retest gap, and pretty much the whole market's been selling off. So if you did play the retest, got filled on a limit buy, cool. If you're waiting for this one, I guess, also great. This one is a stock that's, not necessarily blended into the rest of the market. It could continue higher, but this might be an opportunity to take that hammer just because it's a brand new company. So we'll see OSH. I think I'll put down the list. And let's see what we got. Wednesday. All right, OSH. Got it. We'll come back and look at that on Wednesday. All right. Tesla's not on my list today. RXT. I get really confused with RXT and RKT sometimes. Look at Rackspace, how strong that stock held up. Beautiful hammer. Very, very pretty on Rackspace. Again, a little bit of a newer company. Strong move. Nice lower shadow. Pretty massive hammer, I must say. So if you're doing hammer scans, today was a fun day for you, or tonight's going to be a fun night. And if you're looking at playing Rackspace, that's pretty much how I would. I mean, there it is. There's the hammer. It's there for all the world to see. Very kind of similar to, Snapchat. Snapchat, man, was just mean. Like this thing opened down. I was like, oh, great open. We're not going to get triggered in. And then it just ran like a whole dollar to wick us in, and then just rolled over and stopped us out. I was like, dude, that is brutal. Like I haven't had that happen in a long time. That is just dirty. Dirty. So I think we can try that again later. I'll put it on the list for Tuesday. But dude, like I loved the gap down. I was like, oh, awesome. Open, gapping down. I was like, that's not going to trigger us in. Nope. Not only did it trigger us in, but also stopped us out on the same day. So Tuesday, I'll put that on the list on Tuesday, and we'll see if we can come back and trade that. But yeah, there's a lot of hammers. Definitely a lot of hammers out there. So this one I do like on Rackspace. It is pretty. What I would prefer on a candle of this size is something like that, because it's just a really, really large hammer. Nitro says literal wicked in and wicked out. Yeah, literally. Oh well, I mean, hey, if you're gonna lose fast. Like whatever. Burn the R. Beyond Meat, obviously you got stopped out of Beyond Meat. I was excited about this one because it gapped up this morning. So Snapchat was gapping down. I was like, oh, cool. Well, we're not going to get filled unless it probably works. And then Beyond Meat gapped up. I was like, oh, man, Beyond Meat's gapping up. The whole market's gapping down. So we got stopped out on both. But I heard Edward Lynn and a few other traders are getting into some bull put spreads on Beyond Meat down around that 105 area for late September or early October. But I did get stopped out of that directional trade, and yep, good try on Beyond Meat. So right now I'll probably just stick to those credit spreads down here, 105, 100 October, EL, and some others. All righty. So that's Beyond Meat. RKT, which is Rocket Companies. Don't really see much I like on that one. Don't love anything on that, so we'll just move on. All right, Apple. So Apple, I think, Edward, you got filled on most of your pyramid on Apple. At least you were saying you did. I got filled on some shares of Apple, and a few traders are doing some put sales on Apple as well. So I got some put sales at 100, 95, and 90 for September, October, and November. Put sale 100, 95, 90, September, October, November, respectively. And we'll see what happens. Chief says, I made 1.5 hours on Apple today. Nice. Nitro says, you think it goes lower? Most likely, yeah. Again, I think the whole market has one more little rotation down. So something like this. Like that'd be amazing. But yeah, I mean, again, a lot of people were looking at Apple to get on a pullback, and it pulled back. So, you know, well done. It had a nice dip. A lot of us got some pyramids filled. I heard Angela made an R or two on Apple today. And again, Angela, thanks so much for sharing your chart with us. I really appreciate it. Very simplistic, folks. Angela could have lost money too. Let's see if I can find it. There's so many good posts today. Let me go into threads. I think it's in threads. Here it is. No. Man, I was just on Slack all day today. Shoot. Oh, well. Anyway, she had a really good post if you guys can find it. And she had a good chart, was kind of sharing her how she played it. And again, you know, the way anyone trades that make money, it's not insanely hard, right? It's not the most crazy perspective of all time. So if I come over here, let me just see if I can replicate what Angela did. All right, you guys ready for some real mind-blowing information? Okay, here we go. Pre-market support. Where does everyone have their stop at? Right here. So where does Angela buy some calls? Right there. And then you get, look at all the bear candles in a row in a 5-minute chart. Is Apple going to go zero? Most likely not. So big, humongous, insane bear volume, massive amount of bear candles in a row. What does Angela do again? All right, let me buy one more round, another round of options, and see if it bounces. And if it starts bouncing, then what she does is she'll put a stop loss there. And if it goes lower, she cuts her losses and loses 2 or 3 Rs. And if it bounces, she makes 6 or 7. Am I close, Angela? Right, so here's the chart, and bam, there it is. You know? So Nitro says options it closed today. No, she bought some time on them, I'm sure. I don't think she bought them today, although it might have been. I don't know. If it was a day trade. If it's a day trade, it doesn't really matter if they expire today. It's just all risk at that point. Just all basic, simple math. But, you know, buy where people's stops are at and buy the dip. Bought October. There you go. So she was buying October options. So anyway, team, you know, nothing really crazy. We all know Apple will bounce over time. Although this is a very intriguing candle, let's go back to the last split because this is a replica of what it did last time. Look at Apple. I mean, the same thing. It announces a split. It runs up. Everyone buys it. Jeremy goes to cash. Stock trades down. Another rotation. ABC wave. And then we go higher. Like that was it. You know, I mean, it's such a, come on, team. Come on. Stuff is not hard. I told you guys Apple's going to go down after the split. I'm one of the best Apple traders in the world. You guys got to believe me. You know, I spend a lot of time studying Apple. So well done. High fives all around. Good stuff. Good stuff. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. So Scott McKay's covered call. It gets to expire worthless. Nicely done, Scotty McScotterton. And I did get triggered into some leaps today. $100 January 2022 again. Filled on 9.4, almost at the low. Now, why would I buy here? Answer, because that's the exact same price that I bought last time. It's the same price. So why would I do it again? You know, that's it. So again, we can go lower. This is just the first round, but you know, January 2022 is a little far away. We got some time. So again, if we hang out, chop around, dip back into here, which we absolutely could do. If we get a big update, something, you know, wrong candle. So we get like a big update next 3 or 4 days. I'll sell some calls against this one. Most likely turn into a debit spread. If we hang out, that's great. And of course, if what I hope doesn't happen happens in the market, and Wednesday or something we get this, I will load up on a lot of what's called long put options. And then I'll sell those put options and I'll take the gain from the put option and I'll buy another leap or two down there. Then I'll sell some puts, then I'll buy some shares. And probably late September, I'll be 100% back invested into the market if something like that happens. And then if we go lower into November, then I'll start legging into some margin. And we'll go from there. One thing, and I'll probably have a class on this at some point soon, but one thing you guys all need to keep very close mind about your margin, right? Your margin rates or your margin's based on your current portfolio value, okay? So let's say you have a $100,000 account and you got stocks and stuff in there and blah, 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 blah. And then the market poops its pants and your account value goes down to 89,000, okay? What's your margin rate based off of, 800,000 or 89,000? Yep, exactly, has double the impact. So now when it's lower, okay, right? Now if you margin a $100,000 account, you have a $200,000 position, okay, and the account drops, has double the impact because now you're going to get very soon to be margin called because the margin rates that you don't have enough money to cover it. Okay, so keep that in mind because again, as this number drops, so does this number. And as your margin goes low enough, right, it has double the impact. So the only time I go into margin is when either A, it's at a price that I want to buy it at, or B, the market has had a nice significant 10 to 15% correction, and I'll start tiptoeing into margin. But it's very, very prudent to take your cash positions first. Make sure you're very well versed in cash. Make sure you're comfortable with your cash positions before you get into anything marginal. All right. Now, Interactive Brokers will pay you to lend out your shares if your shares are owned in cash. And I think, you know, you can make like, I don't know, $100 a week or something sometimes, maybe $50. It depends on your account size, I guess, and how many shares you lend out. But yeah, if you own your shares in cash, you can get some extra passive income just by agreeing to lend those shares out. You know, just like interest at a bank. But long story short, just make sure you keep in mind your margin requirements. Like if you're doing anything on margin, please understand that this is only 3 days of selling. Technically just on AMD. right? Some stocks only had 2 days of selling. So you can have more days. I love buying the dip, right? But I am 50% in cash. So if the market drops really, really hard, right, my portfolio value is going to go down. And as my portfolio value decreases, so will the ability of how much I can margin. So just make sure you all keep that in mind. It all has an impact, okay? So that's why you want to do things nice and slow. Tesla. So I did not get filled my 67 shares of Tesla, although I did get filled on some synthetic longs. Sold some more puts and also got filled on some 500 March 2021 call options. Calls. Filled on 9/4. Right, Craig? I think those filled as well. Okay. So put sales, I have 1 or 2. And the limit buy is filled. And let's see. So this next limit is going to get changed. And I'm just going to most likely do a little bit more down here. If we break the low of this candle at this point, I am certainly hedging, and I will sell calls against long calls. I will buy protective puts. I will do all kinds of things if Tesla closes below this candle. And right now it is actually gapping down. So it's not the greatest sign in the world, but I think it's an Elon Musk share options thing. Robert says S&P announced the changes and Tesla not included, selling off because people tried to front run that. Everyone thought that it was a guarantee that the Tesla would be included in the S&P though. Huh. So you're telling me that not everything is a guarantee in the stock market? Robert says, I linked it in Slack. S&P changes Tesla not added to the S&P 500 yet, ... Dow Jones indices, okay, to ensure mid cap, small cap. Nice. So mid cap, Etsy, Teradyne, CTLT will move to the S&P 500, replacing H&R Block, Cody, and Kohl's, all of which will be moved to S&P mid cap 400. There you go. So no inclusion yet on Tesla, which again, it's Wall Street, folks. Everything you hear is not always accurate. So again, we'll see how we open. I do like the fact we're opening a little bit. I mean, that will be a decent trap, but I think the same people who bought, Tesla around 370 will probably buy it again. But just keep in mind, this Tesla literally had a few days of selling. And if we take out these levels, I will be buying some protective puts. I'll be selling some calls. Craig, are you listening, by the way? So I'll be buying puts. You should consider buying some puts as well. If Tesla takes out these candles, these lows, sell some calls against either shares and or long-term calls, and just hedge, because stocks can go up and they can also go down, right? Stocks do not go up forever. Even though the company can be really cool, everything can go down. Tesla could still easily come down to the 50 EMA. Easily. So we'll see. Here's what the weekly chart looks like. Very nice high wave candle, which I do like. I love this high wave candle. That just tells me that we're going to have some chop for a while. And monthly chart looks brutal. Almost a tweezer top. Not that it didn't need to slowly rest, but yeah, so we'll find out. Let it chop around, trade stop this for a while. Something like this is perfectly reasonable on Tesla. And as I mentioned, this will be my largest position, most likely at some point in the future, but just right now, just tiptoeing in. So we'll see. All right. And again, remember, market is closed on Monday. So all kinds of things can happen between now and Tuesday, market open. Royalty Pharmaceuticals keeps going lower. All right. So we'll pass the ball on that one. Next on the list is Nuance Communications. Nuance selling off with everything else. Pretty nice looking candle. I like the weekly chart. And yeah. Nice high wave, really, really pretty high wave candle. I kind of dig it. Looks cute. So if it breaks above that candle, just be bullish. Casey's General Store, high, very, very high. It's been around forever. Look at this trend. I mean, an incredible, just a sleeper company for sure. Technicals work really well on this one. Massive dip in March, and now we're just returning back to where we were. So buy around 174 and some change on Casey's General Store. Buy low, so high. Buy the dip. Don't be in too aggressive on that particular position. It needs to trace sideways a little bit. Although earnings is around the corner, so if you're looking at playing a very interesting earnings play, based on the candles and the volume, I'd probably buy an out of the money call option for September. 185 or 190. I mean, if it gaps above that, it should run. So we'll see. Jason, yep, it is posted in Slack. Just talked about it 7 minutes ago. All right, Cloudera, CLDR. So Cloudera, fall measure squiggles pretty well, actually, kind of. I mean, this, I didn't draw it specifically coming all the way down to here, but it did come down to the 100 moving average. So I actually love this lower shadow. Looks like a beautiful, beautiful trap. Potentially, I say trap. I mean, it doesn't have to be. But anyone who has some shares or stops definitely got stopped out. And I did have a limit sell to sell my protective puts, and it didn't get filled today. But the good news is September 4 calls expired worthless. And these will expire worthless as well. I would assume 9/11 and 9/18. So let those expire worthless because next week, right, it's a shorter week. As we and if we bounce around here and do one of these numbers on Cloudera, cool, right? So again, most of you, vast majority of you sold either your call options or shares or whatever at open on Wednesday, saving yourself a nice $3 sell-off on a $13 stock. So well done. Cool deal and right on. So again, the weekly chart, it does look a little double topish, no denying that. So it depends on how hard we close here. We'll figure out what it does. Here's your 100 simple, and right, that's $10.21. $10.21. So we'll see how far it goes down there. But yeah, if we start closing below these supports and really, really, 2 or 3 days, like we start to bounce, hang out, and we get some bull candles, we start closing below those, I'll buy some more protective puts to ensure that position. And like I said, these call options will expire worthless. And so I'm back in shares on Cloudera. Got my full position, 5,000 shares again, back to, was in 5,000, back in 5,000. And we'll see what happens. Cool deal. Next on the list, fuel cell. FCEL. Look at this hammer. Oh my goodness. Wow. September 10th is earnings. Man. Well, you got 2 or 3 days. Maybe you could just really, really quickly attack this hammer. I mean, it's a pretty much perfect hammer. You could also fastly day trade this thing, quickly in and out, but pretty much a perfect hammer right at the 100. Now, this one did get punched right in the throat with the 100 simple on the weekly chart. And we figured that could happen, or most likely would be the case, and it did. So with the 100, we'll see if it eventually breaks above that. And if it does, it could be a lot of fun. I'll put that on the list for Wednesday of next week, and we'll kind of cover it, but I won't take that trade right now. I'll wait until earnings and just see what happens with the 100. 5 below. So remember, we tried to, well, we didn't try. We day traded this one yesterday and lost very small on it. I did back trade it, and the time I back traded it, I did sell it with that new little double bottom right here, just to lock in the gain rather than take the loss. Feel very, very good about where we bought it. I mean, we got in down here. When I back traded it, I did set my entry a little bit lower. So I had it 125.01, but when I back traded, I threw it below all these candles at 124.60, 124.45, I believe. And then my stop was down here at 122.45. So it was a little bit more of an aggressive entry when I back traded, a little bit of a better setup. But even with that, I probably would have still lost very small or won very small. Either way, relatively strong weekly chart, right? Strong monthly chart. I mean, this thing looks like a powerhouse to me. So we shouldn't be sleeping on this thing. If it pulls back again, probably into here, I say we should probably buy some. 5 below, stop, something like that, maybe. Something like that is probably how I'm kind of intrigued to trade this one. I'll put on the list for Tuesday. Just keep watching 5 below. I like the strength of it. It looks really, really good. Okay, Upwork, UPWK. So Upwork, nice little lower shadow. Still got the 100. Still a really good company. I know exactly how this company is going to make money over time, and I use their products. So in general, I also like the consolidation. You got a brand new baby 100 SMA born on the weekly chart, weighs 14 pounds, 62 ounces, and just kind of trading sideways, hanging out, nothing too interesting or wild going on with Upwork. So if you're in shares, stay in them. If you're not in them, consider just slowly tiptoeing in, but general picture, I like that company and trend and chart. LEU. LEU does not look like it's bouncing yet, so we can keep waiting on that one. I'll put that on the list for Wednesday. Next on the list, Delta Airlines, ticker symbol DAL. And Delta, so perfect 2-day consolidation pivot pattern. Now, if you're going through the new day trading class, you'll know how much I love this pattern. It's a bigger version of what happened over here. And I love how much the airlines and cruise lines held up today. Because that tells me if the market does pop, they're going to pop with it. Because we had a dramatic sell-off and this much weakness in the markets on these weak stocks, holding up as well as they did with just a giant ferocious sell-off the last 2 days is amazing. Amazing signal. So be watching Delta. In my opinion, keep an eye on it for it to gap out. If you're in this swing trade or watching a swing trade, cool. If you're trying to buy the dip, cool. In general, I like a breakout. I like a bullish move. I will be keeping some close eyes on Norwegian next 2 or 3 days, and we'll kind of find out what happens. But what's cool with some of the airlines is you did close above that weekly 20. That chart looks brilliant on Delta. Just from a technical standpoint, trust me, I know that the fundamentals are a little rough, but I think we feel that airlines will come back. It's just going to be a little ugly. But in the meantime, we can take some quick in and out plays. So put Delta strong on your list. I mean, if you're doing a swing trade or something on it, I think you can make a little bit of short-term money on Delta. New Relic, how the mighty have fallen. So this one, I mean, with COVID, pulled back dramatically. So that was a 75% pullback. And it retraced all the way to 2000, like $40 lows, 2015, 16, 17, 18 resistance. So this one pulled back hard. Weekly chart, very light volume sell-off. And then, wow, daily chart just getting smoked. I mean, like it was a barbecue pulled brisket. I don't know much about this particular company, although I know Matt liked it a lot at one point. I'd probably, let's go look at New Relic really quick. Interesting. Have to do a little bit more research on it, but if it's going to bounce, it needs to more or less be Monday. So that one could be an interesting play. That could be the beginning of an inverted head and shoulders pattern, maybe. So it's going to have to start bouncing very, very soon. Chief says it is a cloud-based company. Man, sure doesn't look like it right now. But yeah, I mean, this would be the spot to at least start keeping an eye on it. It's weak. No one's talking about it. No one's excited about it. And you had a huge sell-off today with pretty light volume. So that could just be a bunch of sellers. We're about to get trapped. All right, let's put on the list Tuesday and keep tabs on New Relic. All righty, Uber, UBER. Uber, I mean, it's like technical analysis works or something. It's weird. This trend line's been on here forever. Really strong trend line, just been consolidating, chopping. Nice hammer today, and eventually at some point, most likely will break out, and we'll see what it does at that point in time. So we will see. Only got about 9 years left on my bet with my boy Falco, so it better start moving soon. All right, so Uber, we'll see if it breaks out. Right now it's just chilling. UDOW. So this is the ProShares Trust Dow Jones Ultra. So if you love to gamble and you're a huge fan of volatility and you absolutely love to see your P&L move by double-digit percentages on a weekly basis, this is an ETF for you. So obviously it is quote unquote supposed to follow the Dow Jones, but it is a double, so it will absolutely rampage largely in both directions, up and down. Fun ETF to day trade. I can give you that. It does have good liquidity, you know. So I thought about at some point having a day trading challenge where we just trade 2x and 3x ETFs and just have those on their list. I mean, you know, they're fun, they're liquid, they can be traded. Technical analysis still works. Really, really great for day trading though, for sure. All right, next on the list, AXTA. Not sure what this one is. Coding systems. Coding. My limit buy would be 22 even. This is a sideways stock, so don't be in it too long because the trend is ugly. So buy as low as you can, probably 22, and maybe you can have another limit around 20 and a half. Buy low, sell high, in and out. Don't hope and pray for anything great because you'll be hoping and praying for a long time. Next on the list, XQM. Okay, SQM, all right. I like that recovery above the 100 simple on a weekly chart. And it's right in the middle of the 100 and 200 simple moving averages on a monthly chart. So I'd probably wait it out. If you're doing something cool, maybe it's bullish positions down here. But again, this thing is also gapping down post-market. I don't know if it's on a lot of volume or not. Let's go investigate. No, it's not. Okay. So yeah, I would like it to pull back more. I do agree. It's nice that it bounced off the weekly 100. Yeah, just let it chill out for a little bit more. If you want to trade it, let me know. We'll watch what you trade on it. INBX. Okay. There it is. So obviously on this one, new IPO, we can probably do a limit, higher stop and a lower limit, but it stayed within the candle, so I have to do it. 1866 is the stop, and the limit buy will be, because the volume on this one, ooh, what's the average volume? Oh, 57,000. All right, I'll let two of you play that one if you want. We all can't get in that one because we'll be the market. We would be that market. So if 2 or 3 of you want to play it, enjoy. Otherwise, I'll have to wait it out. All right, Smile Direct SDC. Yeah, Smile Direct got direct today. Still trying to figure out if I want to buy a pullback or wait for a breakout. And based on that candle, yeah, that's our Huckleberry right there. That's it. We can just take the break out of that candle. What's the high of this candle? 1025, 1010. Is that really the high? 1025? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, 1026 by 926. There we go. We'll take the break out of that if it breaks out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. All right, new official swing trade on STC. Let's go through that in the everyone loves Elon discussion. Okay. Cool deal. Let me throw that in here and then I'll throw it into, no, doesn't want to go. All right, bang. Because again, we got stopped out of 2 trades today and the other ones we'll look at. Smile Direct 1026 by 926 shares. I think it was a great trade based on a perfect gap and go the other day, and it's open because it's not triggered yet. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I have 2 of those. All right, Smile Direct is done. Next, we got CVAC, which I think is going to go live too. CVAC. Powerhouse. What a nice one. All right, CureVac. Good old CureVac. So, if you got a chance to take the breakout, nice. If you want to take the pullback, I'll make the pullback official. Why not? Here. And this one probably should go in the list for Tuesday morning, because if it gaps up, I think it could run Tuesday, CVAC. All right. So that, again, that's a 1 white soldier. So we could also, you know, you could do half an hour to take a breakout, half an hour and a pullback, which is what I'll do. And we'll have the stop there just in case it breaks out and runs without us. We've done a few half an hours before, especially on these newer IPOs. And again, same thing applies. If it just craters down to the earth and we lose, then we lose a full R. But usually with half an hour entries, we're pretty good about getting everything set up so that we eventually lose less than an R. Okay, 9/4/2020, CVAC. I did like a progeny all day today for the first time in like a month. So 64.62. Put that over here. So I'll make sure half an R and half an R. This is kind of similar to pyramiding. It's not massively different. I mean, it's just, it technically is just 2 different pyramids, only instead of 4. And it's not limit buys. Normally, I almost 99% of the time always do my pyramids with limit orders to get in, but this technically could be considered the same thing. Okay, 60.36, 53.03, 53.03. And again, if your R is 400, you just half these shares, half the shares, right? And just go that price. I think it's a great trade. Great. Based on a perfect gap and go today. Okay. Cool deal. Done and done. Eiffel Towering, that's right. That's exactly correct. So CCC, Big fan of this one. So this one also got triggered into some leaps. CCC. This one's a very cool stock, especially just long-term fundamentally. If I go back over to FinViz really quick, some cool fundamentals on it. And the option volume and open interest really kind of came in nicely today for the 35 open interest, April 2021 calls. So if you're looking at playing them, the volume again is relatively low, but the open interest is decent. CCC. So I'm looking at getting triggered in these pretty soon. Sales looking okay, gross margins looking okay. Market cap pretty large, honestly, but sales are good. This is pretty small, $10 billion company. So CCC, if you're looking at playing this one, again, the open interest can easily support some either 35 or $30 calls. They're really not expensive for April if you're going out of the money. I mean, you're buying some time. And that would be a great one to leg into because they're not pricey at all. Now, I know some of you are already in shares on this one. April 35 call. And the plan on that one will be like $1.25 limit. Throw that out there and, I don't know, buy 10 of them. And then kind of see what happens. That would be an R, just an R if it goes to 0. You know, nice trends, good volatility, good industry. You know, we'll see. Okay. EGO, Eldorado Gold. Eldorado, been riding the struggle bus. That is a brilliant hammer though. What moving average did I not like that I just saw, or was it nothing? Monthly. No, we're right on top of it. Okay, that could bounce. Huh. Eldorado Gold looks really nice with that hammer candle. I do like. Will take. Okay. 11.13 by 10.30. Well, I can make it 10.13. Make it just an even dollar. Easier risk. Oh, that's far. Never mind. This changes the risk reward a lot. I'll make it 10.32. Okay. So again, we got stopped out some trades today and got plenty of cash. So let's go. All right, 9/4/2020 EGO. Next on the list, 11.13 stop loss, 10.32 shares. Good trade based on a, what type of gap was it? Technically a fade, but I'll put it as a retest gap. Open because not triggered yet. And let me make sure I put that in Slack. Got it. Okay. Got it. Eldorado. Okay. MGM is next. Was requested. MGM still holding out okay. I do like this weekly chart. So the weekly chart got a nice gap. Got your support resistance there. Nice little double bottom. It's a retest gap. Morning star. Inside week candle. Now, granted, it wasn't a perfect inside week, and the lower shadow didn't really go that low. But yeah, if it breaks above, I mean, the weekly looks nice and the daily looks nice. So MGM, I mean, the smaller companies, a lot of the money rotating out of tech and maybe into some of the smaller stuff. Edward says, I'm guessing that gap will fill. Yeah, at some point, most likely. Whenever we have that next massive rollover in the market, maybe later October, early November, before we get the big bounce, you can get some fills out there. It probably will fill. Ethereum. So Ethereum holding up okay. I mean, you're getting some selling in crypto, but really on a weekly chart, it still looks fine to me. All you're doing is just consolidating. You know, the chart looks good, trend looks good. As long as we keep holding this level, this is a support zone. So it makes sense to chop around here. We just came down to the 10 EMA on the weekly chart. So right now, I think on crypto, you got your main move that you were looking for this year. Really, it was here in July and August. So for the next 2 or 3 months, sit in your hands. It probably won't be that exciting. Accumulate, buy some every few days and or weeks, and just let it do whatever it's going to do and then go from there. But be long. Okay. And NVDA. So NVIDIA, well done, talked about getting into some collars and buying some protective puts for Husian and a few other traders. And good job on NVIDIA. So it had a very nice pullback. It was down 20%, but I think it can go a little bit lower. I think it can pull back a little bit more. I mean, the COVID pullback was 40%. This pullback was only 10, but that was, I mean, brand new. It could go a little bit lower, but I mean, NVIDIA is a great company. They're going to do a lot of things. Something like this just makes tons of sense. Bottom line, folks, we got most of the pullback that we were looking for. I know it sounds crazy, but that was really it. So we could trade sideways for a few days or for a few weeks, maybe go a little bit lower, chop around, but yeah, that was good. This is healthy, proper timing. Nice, and we'll see what we get. So last on the list today is Norwegian. Love how Norwegian held up today. Gorgeous close. Gorgeous. Yeah, I closed profitable today. Barely, but profitable. Not hitting a target, but not losing. So weekly chart, amazing. We closed above that weekly 20 EMA. So good. So good. So I'll expect us to retest it, which is 1818 sometime next week. And I'll probably buy another call option or 2, maybe 7. 1818 and 20 EMA on a weekly. And yeah, team, if that can get a little bit of a bounce, we might get our shot. We might get our shot at selling at our target. 365 is still a reasonable target. Although if we retest and we have another resting candle, early in the week, next week, and then again, at some point, I think the market's in a pot, the moving averages are curving up. I'm not saying Norwegian is going to go to the moon. I'm just simply saying that we could theoretically do one of these guys, and then, those options would be worth like $5. So I don't also want to sell too early, but I'll leave the target 365 for now. Let me go update that right now, and I'll buy some more if we have a really good looking trade, good looking candle, good retest on Monday. If we just gap up on Tuesday, and things are looking really nice, then, okay, so 365. Yeah, if we gap up and things are looking really nice and really pretty on Tuesday, and it looks like I could hit the target, then I will hit the target, and that'll be that. Unless of course we're opening above this upper shadow. If we're gapping above the upper shadow, I might make the target like 370, 375, but it won't be huge. We'll take the gain, we'll lock it in, we'll win, and that'll be that. Unless it's a really nice gap. But if it's a nice gap, this is a limit sell. So it's a limit sell 365. If it's gapping up to here, which I don't expect at all, but I mean, if we gap up to there on Tuesday, like that could fill at $4. Who knows? But I think we're going to win on that trade, folks. Sorry it took a whole month and a half, but All right. I'm fired up. Folks, this has been so good. Thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for enriching lives with me this week. I want you all to know that real life trading took another level up in the stock market world this week. Mostly thanks to all of you and your support and your love and your caring and your sharing and your testimonials and your information. We had a really, really big place on the map, and that is so fantastic. All thanks to you, all thanks to your energy and your exuberance. Thank you, my friends. I love you. The real life trading retreat starts Sunday in Nashville. I'll give you a quick, small little hint. We are releasing another one in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you cannot make Nashville and you're not going to Nashville, Pop over to reallifetrading.com, click on RLT 2021 Charlotte, January 2021. And if you can't make Nashville, at least make that one. If you can't make that one, I'm sure there'll be another one. There'll always be one. We're growing, folks. I want to grow with you. Grow with me. Let's make money. Let's enrich lives. Let's do amazing things. And until next time, love life, and trade. Bye.